And now our continuing series on the greatest artist of all time. At number 61, Metallica. In 2004, in the Rolling Stone magazine, Flea wrote, "In 1984, I was on tour with my band somewhere in the middle of America. It was around 3 or 4 in the morning. We were all crammed into our van with our equipment. It was raining, we were tired, and we'd been on the road. And this music comes on the radio. I couldn't believe that it existed. My mind was being blown by this beautiful violence that was unlike anything I'd ever heard before. It wasn't punk rock, it wasn't heavy metal, it was precise and explosive and heavy. It was aggressive and intense, and it had these really wild and bizarre rhythm changes. But it still held together as a great song. I was singing along with it by the end, though it certainly wasn't using any conventional pop song pattern that I'd ever heard. That song was Fight Fire with Fire, and it opened up my mind to the mighty force of nature that is Metallica." When Metallica started in 1981, they didn't really take your typical path to success. I don't know if massive stardom and selling a zillion records were on their minds when they were getting the ball rolling, but if they were aiming at becoming one of the most successful rock bands of all time, they sure were going about it in a kooky way. Maybe they were thinking they were going to break into Casey Kasem's Top 40 countdown with their debut record, Kill 'Em All. They were definitely going for a hit single with the song Pulling Teeth. A 5-minute-long bass solo was a sure ticket to commercial success. That song is one of the greatest moments in rock history for the electric bass guitar. Every Cliff Burton bass solo I've ever heard is a soulful, psychedelic, head-banging expression that rocks your world, trips your brain, and gets the house rocking. It's a beautiful piece of music played by an awesome rocker of a young man who was a masterpiece of a human being. I can never listen to any Metallica record without thinking of him. It's clear that the gift he gave lives on in the band's music. The fact that Metallica connected with the world in the way that they have is phenomenal. They've become a household name with music that's anything but mainstream. It's outsider music, and for it to do what it's done is truly mind-blowing. When I hear Metallica, I get this feeling that they're doing something that they have to do. There's this thing in them wound up so tight that they have to let it out. Let that thing uncoil. It has to be released. An infinite well of sadness, a hell of a lot of pain and anger, but mostly a lot of love for the process of releasing the stuff. For the people who give it up and get rocked by Metallica, the world's a less lonely place. When a person gets rocking to their music, everything else disappears, and that person is just one with the rock. It's an inexplicable, awesome thing, and I bow down to it. Pain and hurt can be muse for great art. It's one of the greatest rites of passage for any artist, and it's something that touches us most deeply. Anyone who's ever been to a Metallica show and banged their head and thrown up the devil horns has been part of something great. Rocking so hard to the brutal beat of Metallica for those couple of hours in a way is as healthy as any spiritual exercise, group meditation, any love-in, anything. Flea concludes, Metallica's career is a huge dynamic thing, and they've done it all. They've worked their way up from nothing and written the jams that rock the world. It's unbelievable. And they continue to rock on. Whatever gets thrown at them, they persevere and they get stronger. They're a family, and they're as intense and inventive as ever. The group was formed in 1981 in Los Angeles. They've released 9 studio albums, 4 live albums. They've won 9 Grammys, and 5 of their albums consecutively debuted at number 1 on the Billboard album charts. Their self-titled 1991 album, also known as the Black Album, sold over 16 million copies in the U.S. It's from that album that our song for today comes from, Enter Sandman. It's our continuing series on the greatest artists of all time. And at number 61, Metallica.